What actors do you enjoy watching?
Well, my favorite actors are Meg Ryan. I like Jennifer Aniston. All that has to do with Friends. And I like Tom Hanks, Sandra Bullock.
Why do you like them?
Sandra Bullock, for example, I like her because she can make different roles and she kills it. She's really good at it.
Why do you like Sandra Bullock's performance in Miss Congeniality?
I like it because she first shows a side of her that is not too girly. She's like, I don't care, whatever. And then she showed that she could change her character into this girly woman. That was really good.
What actors do you particularly enjoy watching?
I don't really have a favourite actor, I don't think, but I always enjoy watching Robert De Niro.
Why do you like him?
I think he just has an intensity and a presence that makes you want to watch him, makes you want to think about why he's doing what he's doing. I think even if it's something quite silly, it's still always interesting to watch.
What performance of his do you particularly enjoy?
I think my favourite film and my favourite performance of all time is The Deer Hunter.
What actors do you particularly enjoy watching?
I particularly like watching Christian Bale as an actor and maybe an actress, Anne Hathaway.
Which of their performances did you particularly enjoy?
I enjoyed Christian Bale as Batman and also in the movie The Prestige.
Why do you like Anne Hathaway?
I like Anne Hathaway because she's very attractive, and I liked her in The Dark Knight Rises.
What actors do you particularly enjoy watching?
An actress that I do like is Meryl Streep. I think she's a very powerful actress. I think she does well in any role that's given to her. I really do admire her. She's very moving. Anything that she does, she moves me.
Are there any particular films in which you enjoyed her performance?
My favorite movie with Meryl Streep is Julie and Julia.
Why did you like her performance?
I think she did a really good job capturing Julia Child. She sounded like her. She was able to just become her. So I loved it.
When did you last have an interview for a job?
The last time I had an interview for a job was in 2011.
How did you prepare for the interview?
I took a lot of rescue remedy to help with the nerves, and I just practiced every question that they could ask me in my head.
Did the interview go well?
No, it didn't. I didn't get the job.
When did you last have an interview for a job?
About 2 months ago.
How did you prepare for the interview?
Well, I looked at the job description and thought about my experience and then tried to match my experience to the various different points on the job interview.
Did the interview go well?
It did.
How do you know it went well?
Because they offered me the job.
When did you last have an interview for a job?
I last had an interview for a job a few weeks ago. That's the last time I had an interview for a job.
How did you prepare for the interview?
To prepare for the job interview, I read about the company and learned about what they did and to see if I liked the work that they did.
How do you know it went well?
I think it went well because they followed up with an email to talk about further opportunities at that company.
When did you last have an interview for a job?
The last interview that I had was for my current company that I work for, and that was about 2 years ago.
How did you prepare for the interview?
I prepared for the interview by doing a little research on the company, the kind of products that they make, their philosophy, the history and their background of the company.
Did the interview go well?
I think that the interview went well because it was actually a long interview. I had a lot of good conversation with the managers there, and I also got a few more interviews afterwards and eventually got the job, so the interviews went well.
When did you last have an interview for a job?
About 3 months ago.
How did you prepare for the interview?
I read about the company and I knew what the job contents was, and I knew everything that I had to know for the interview and was well prepared to answer their questions.
Did the interview go well?
It went well. In the end, they said I was too young, so they didn't hire me. But they would have if I was older, they said.
What was your favorite book when you were a child?
I think my favorite book when I was a child probably is Where the Wild Things Are.
Why did you like it so much?
I think I liked it because of the fantasy aspects, and it was just a creative book, and I think a lot of kids like it for that reason. So.
Did you see the movie?
No, I did not see the movie, unfortunately. I should. So.
Was there a character in a children's book that you identified with?
Well, I used to read a book series called Trixie Belden, and Trixie Belden was a sort of a teenage or young teen mystery person, and she was very curious and very liked to solve mysteries, and I always fashioned that, I would like to do that as well.
What was your favorite book when you were a child?
Probably The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe.
Why did you like it so much?
I remember we had a teacher at school who read it aloud to us when I was probably 6 or 7, when I was too young to read it myself. And I remember getting the book and then sitting down by myself and reading it. And I think it was the first time I realised how much you could get out of a book, I think.
Was there a character in a children's book that you identified with?
I can't think of any specific characters. I think I was quite a scruffy child. I always had dirty knees and torn clothes and things like that. So whenever there was a boy who got into lots of trouble, I usually thought that's a little bit like me. But I can't think of one particular one.
What was your favorite book when you were a child?
I think Coraline by Neil Gaiman was my favorite.
Why did you like it so much?
I liked the writing style. A lot of books just sort of have a wall of text that's hard to absorb, but I thought it was easier to read.
Was there a character in a children's book that you identified with?
I identified with Coraline because I tend to be curious about stuff, and also because in a lot of the sorts of books that I like, unfortunately, the protagonists are usually male.
How much recycling do people in your country do?
I don't think we do enough. I think we could do a little bit more. I'm not wonderful myself, but we try and do a little bit of recycling.
How responsible are you personally?
Well, we'd probably do about 30% we recycle.
What do you think the government or individuals could do to make people recycle more?
Well, they could give you all these boxes and bins and things at home to help you recycle. The Germans seem to do it quite well.
How much recycling do people in your country do?
I think people are quite good at recycling. I think now that the waste companies come and collect recycling from the houses, people haven't really got an excuse not to recycle anymore.
How responsible are you personally?
I recycle as much as I can.
What do you think the government or individuals could do to make people recycle more?
Well, maybe they could offer a financial incentive for recycling, or maybe for producing less rubbish that can't be recycled.
How much recycling do people in your country do?
I think that recycling is getting better in this country. I think we still have a long ways to go. I think it's still done largely in pockets and not necessarily nationwide as much as it could be.
How responsible are you personally?
Actually, in the town where I live, we have a very strong recycling program, and so I participate in filling it up with cans and bottles and newspapers and all kinds of stuff, and they come and get it every other week, so easy to do. Mm-hmm.
What do you think the government or individuals could do to make people recycle more?
Oh, well, incentives always work. Besides above and beyond monetary incentives, just incentives to, promote benefits to the environment.
How much recycling do people in your country do?
I don't think people in the U.S. recycle enough. I think we should recycle more, and I'm even guilty of not recycling enough, but I don't think we recycle enough.
How responsible are you personally?
Personally, I'm not really that responsible in cycling. I'll be honest, I don't really recycle that often, but if I do get the opportunity to recycle, I will.
What do you think the government or individuals could do to make people recycle more?
Well, I think it's important for individuals to realize that even the smallest difference makes a big difference, and so if everyone can just get in that mindset that the smallest change they can make in their lives makes a big difference, I think that will in fact make a big difference.